So for the past 3 or 4 months, I have been super duper involved in running this baby right here. This is my 17.5 street stock carpet oval car, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the car, show you some race footage, talk to you guys all about it. This carpet oval stuff is fantastic. All carpet's just great because it's clean, it's not dirty, and all this other stuff. I've got a big regional race coming up here in a few weeks, so we've been putting in some extra tuning, some modifications to the car, all that stuff. So I'm Chad, this is the Dorky M40RC channel. Let's talk about some street stock today. So what's going on, everybody? Super happy to be back with you. Congratulations to the latest drag race winners up there at the 419. Looked like it was a fantastic event. Now, let's talk about the main event here. Now, what this thing is literally, it is a B6.3 buggy with big bore shocks. That way you can get these bigger springs, custom works, adjustable arms, which really aren't needed, but a McAllister body mount set, and of course we run foam tires. Now the street stock stuff is really popular when it comes to like the whole like dirt oval thing. If you do searches on YouTube, there's all kinds of stuff about dirt oval, but there's really not much about like stuff on carpet. And carpet, at least around here, and especially from what I hear in America, you know, it just keeps on growing and growing because we've got all of these old shopping centers, shopping malls, stuff like that have been closing down, being repurposed for different things. The place that we're going to here in a few weeks, about an hour north of here, a little bit south of Cleveland, is having the big, large race. It used to be like an old outlet mall, and like somebody literally bought like 3 or 4 of them and put them all together. I've already been up there practicing a little bit. It's a fantastic facility. We'll take you guys with us on the way. But getting back to the car, lots of tuning and setup going on to these things, guys. Learned a super duper lot about cars and how these things run. You can see we've got different kind of colored springs everywhere. We've got all of the carbon parts that AE has, even with their new transmission, which is molded in carbon. You know, it's not true carbon fiber, but it's the carbon fiber infused stuff. You can see we've done things as much as we can to eliminate weight, as far as making wires as small as possible, getting rid of like the crazy battery retention plate that usually goes across the B6. I always had titanium turnbuckles and screw kits and stuff, so that was a big help as well. We got the body mount here is reversed wing mounted upside down to kind of hit everything. Ride height, I'm running at about 9 millimeters. Some people go a little bit higher, a little bit lower. Of course, we're using the R1 ESC in here, which is just fantastic. We've got a Reefs 299 LP servo in there, and we have the new V21S R1 17.5 motor in here, which is just a beast now that I have finally figured out how to gear this thing for our local track and for the big race that we'll be going to. So our track locally here is kind of a smaller oval, 132 feet. The oval that we'll be going to racing up here soon is about 165 feet. So my gearing that I'm running on here is a 66 spur right now and a 37 tooth pinion. And again, I'll show you here on the bottom, we've got the Custom Works adjustable arms for rear steer. Gone Bananas tires, of course, are on there. And prep your tires, of course, using just regular SXT. Wipe it off 2 or 3 times before your next heat. Peak up your battery. Been running a couple different batteries. I've got an R1 battery. I've got a ProTech here, and also got a Team AM. Kind of trying to find that right balance of weight and lasting power and punch, all in the same boat. So let's talk about how things have been going. Didn't start off the best, but better than off-road. I was a horrible off-road racer. Don't know why, it just never clicked with me. Oval has gotten a lot better. Of course, your first couple races, you're always going to finish last. I mean, it's just the way it is. but we made some really good progress. And then the big thing about these oval cars and everything is that throughout a night, 4 or 5 heats or whatever, as traction comes up, tires kind of start to wear out, things just kind of happen. You're always kind of like making moves and making changes on the car. Like, you know, it's really different than like drag racing or off-road. Like I would all there's definitely fiddling that has to go on, and a lot of fiddling, because you got to like peak your battery, you want to check your tire wear, things like that. Of course, check for loose screws, prep your tires, all that good stuff, and get ready for the next heat. And then of course all that could just be blown away anyway, because you could get taken out in a crash, go a couple laps down. And our street stock around here is pretty popular. Like even here in the middle of the summer, we're still running like 3 to 4 heats most of the time, so like 10 to 12 people. And back in like the peak of wintertime, we would have 25 to like 30 people just running this class. So it was pretty cool to like see myself work up from the bottom all the way, and then run those gauntlets a couple times where I had to win the D to get into the C, C to get into the B, and then win the B to get into the A. Haven't got that first place finish or that podium finish yet. Fourth is as best as I've got. So let's show you guys some of the race footage from what we did this past week, and I'll show you some of my practice times. So if we take a look at some of the latest times that I just put in, we can go on to Live RC here, and this is pretty much as good as my car is right now, which is pretty dang good. So this is after a lot of tuning. We have a fastest lap of a 336, and we have a top 15 of a 344. So that's 3.44 seconds around each time. And if we go and look at the last race results, my best race was definitely the C main that I had to get into and win, and I finished with 62 laps, a fastest of a 356, and a top 15 of a 1077. So that went pretty well. Got into the B main and just didn't have a lot of stuff going on in the B main. But you can see we're all pretty close, like 66, 67 laps could like win a race. And I'm usually like around 62 to 63. So top 15 was at a 3.585 on that race. And now, of course, practice, you're not in traffic or anything else, but there's definitely going to be some ground to be gained. I think this week could be a pretty dang good week. At least I'm hoping so, because we put in a lot of work on the car. I think the car looks the best that it ever has. I did some things, cleaning up wiring stuff, had to take out my Wi-Fi adapter for the R1, because you're not allowed to leave things like that in your car at like these big events. And again, just kind of like cleaning up the wire and everything, and doing some maintenance on the shocks, making sure that they were all filled up and bled out. And again, just trying to cut a little bit of weight on everything, and truing up some tires, which is a whole new thing with the little tire truer and stuff. But we'll show you guys how that works and everything. So let's go ahead and show you some of last week's footage from when I won the C main, and then all of the catastrophe that happened to everybody in the B main. All right, so we're starting off here. This is the B main. That is the C main actually. So this is my car in front here, and you can see that I definitely am not still the best driver, and I've made some big improvements to that this week. I used to like to stand in the middle of the driver stand, but you can see how my head is kind of like swaying back and forth. So OG Bo basically told me to stand down at one end of the track, so that way you've got the entire track in view. And man, that really made a huge difference during my practice session. So this is our little indoor carpet track. Again, like I said, we've got like a whole separate room and stuff for pitting and everything. Now we do convert it to like a small off-road track as well, so that's why you see all the pieces of tape that are on the carpet, which is pretty unfortunate, especially that big long strip there. But I think they were going to try to do some kind of repairs for that this weekend. So Not a whole lot of action that really happened in this race. I think a couple of us got tangled up a couple times, but I ended up being 2 to 3 laps ahead. They were coming, I was catching them and just kind of let them go by, so that way there wasn't any catastrophe. Let them go ahead of me, gave a lap back, and still ended up winning the race and getting into the B main, where things got a little bit more interesting. All right, so here we are a couple minutes into the B main, and I might be a lap down already, but you can see just when you've got more cars on the track just how much more crazy it starts to get. And you know, I'm trying to like pull away from these guys, and boom, we all just clean the clocks. You can't see what's going on in front of you, so I took him out on accident. I did end up giving him his position back, just trying to recover, just wrecking everybody, which is pretty bad, I must say. Pretty bad. I think I let him get his position back. Yeah, like right there. So trying to be a good sport about everything and just enjoying it and having some fun. I knew that the car just wasn't ready to do. You can see that my driving is awful, running all over the ice. Not supposed to be doing that. Had a really bad push in some areas, and I was also trying to avoid that tape, so trying to hit that corner and come off the throttle and doing all that stuff at the same time when you're the car you're fighting a push is just kind of rough. But you know, I had to literally, since there was only like 6 heats because it's summertime, not a lot of people there, just had to hurry up, run back, top off the battery. Couldn't even prep the tires or nothing like that, even though didn't need any prep anymore at this time of night because there's plenty of it on the track and stuff anyway. But I just kind of did my thing, kind of staying out of everybody's way, trying to just run a race and just see what the car would do. But again, the car just didn't have nothing in it, and most of it was just because of setup. Did make, like I said, some more gearing changes, and the way that these oval cars are, it's super crazy because they really drive their best when you're going full out. When you're trying to take it easy, things just happen and things can get bad. So that's going to be it, guys. Hope you enjoyed all this. We'll see you guys on some of the next videos. Stay tuned for some more action when it comes to the street stock. Peace.